Yeah. My phone was down for a minute. I couldn't even, I'm just not listening to Asiatic Tears. I'm just not listening to Asiatic Tears. The phone was down for a little minute. I think they did that. You know, 10 toes down, boots on the ground, they have what you call joint task force, where you can go from, how you say that? City to city and whatnot, parishes and whatnot, where they have different policing agents. They have a different name, probably a different locality would be the name of it. And of course you have higher departments of policing, the agents like the federal investigate, that type of thing. Office of statewide, blase squaze, SOS something in Florida, I think. Got so many different police departments. So joint task force, when you have a person of interest, what they will do is not allow you to do the old school, which is go from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, which would be a lot of times probably even the same county, perhaps. But definitely county to county. Definitely county to county. The city is within the county, yeah. The city is within the county. So you do have city of this and that, police agent departments, inquisition agents of Rome, gangs of New York, fraternal order police. But you have county. So when you have those who, we used to say spread themselves, spread yourself. When you spread yourself like that, they'll still stay with you if you're a person of interest. And so I say that to say, I was just mentioning that on the previous post, might have been the last one, about how we need to stop if we are still doing some of this stuff, especially around my age, 5, 10 years younger, 15 years younger, and older, because we should know better. You know, it was bad enough when they didn't have all these methods of keeping track of everything we say, everywhere we go, everything we do. Now they most definitely have that. It was a time when all you had to do was zip your lips. And that was saw if you did the right things on the scene of what they will eventually call a crime if it gets reported. If you dotted your I's and crossed your T's, and didn't say anything, key. That was it. They left with a vague description. You know what I'm saying? All niggas look alike, right? And back in the day, see a location like this, for example, when it was crowded, it was crowded. Miami is pretty large. Dade County definitely large. Dade County stretches from just north of the Keys, right, at the southern tip of Florida, all the way up to Miramar Parkway county line. And that's a lot of area for one county, Metro Dade, to be looking for one person. When you go outside, and there's so many people that will fit that description, as far as height, build. A lot of us come from the same gene pool, which is so-called North America, Central South, Caribbean, Canada, stuff like that, and of course, in the East. But as you get to certain localities, in certain peoples that have not left that locality for generations, you're gonna find a lot of similarity. I was just talking to, I know one Highsmith, a close relative of Highsmith is a ball player, professional. I was told a professional ball player by the name of Highsmith just passed away, maybe in the last 2 years. That might be the one. I haven't seen The one High Smith I know in like about 3 years. Last time I seen him by the food truck, Tropicana, 79. Tropicana Bar. I think it was Tropicana Bar area where the food truck used to have a big food truck out there. We drew a lot of customers. Right when COVID-19 was coming, coming out of COVID-19, wasn't a lot of places we could go. So anyway, social media. All social media apps, whether they admit it or not, their doors, the back doors. When I say back door, I mean they can go into anybody's account. There's no such thing as a encrypted account. You can't read it. When they manufacture it, and the people who okay the app to go in outer cyberspace and be used, they make sure that you cannot conduct activities, audio, visual, and text that they cannot detect and research. After time, it leaves a permanent signature, quote unquote. Whatever you do can be retrieved down the line and it can be looked at. You gotta remember they're doing kidnapping, human trafficking, La Diabla. They cut me off, they shut me down before I could talk about La Diabla. She looked like she about this short. Come out the bushes. Right, oh! Got you. Oh! Get you around the neck. Oh! Boom! You on the ground, tie your behind up, wrist to the ankle. Right, put a little stick through it for you know it. Two big men, big Hispanic man picture. And carry you off like some rotisserie roll. La Diabla. I almost remember the whole, I had a whole name, but they shut me down. I could not access nothing on my phone because it would not take a charge. You couldn't charge it. Went to the phone company. They tried to boost it up. Brand new charge, wouldn't work. Luckily it was under warranty, but it shut me down for some days. And like I say, y'all know the attacks are real. It's one of the first recent posts I've been putting up here in this series right before I started. Active MOORS, more active. The prophet said you need to be active MOORS. And that was back then. It was just about to get bad. Matter of fact, when he went public in like 1913, that's about the same year they was on Jekyll Island doing the Federal Reserve banknote meeting on Jekyll Island. I think that was 1913. Around 1913 is when they started talking about a mortgage. I was talking to what, TL from Hollandale? Just recently we was kicking it back and forth. He studies, and he knows things on this subject of far as sovereignty, isonomy. Right? Yeah, not sovereign citizens, but sovereigns. I have been taught by more than just Grand Sheikh. Grand Sheikh is one, Taj Tariq Bey. The citizen, he will go to the Dungy case with Abraham Lincoln, which is stare decisis, Supreme Court case, where it said black cannot be a citizen. That designation is not for us. Black, African American, goes back to Indian, which goes back to indigo, which goes back to us, who we really are, in the flesh, before subjugation, when we were the rulers. Right? So parts of the Constitution, Articles of Confederation and whatnot, we have to familiarize ourselves with. That's when we stand on our square. We don't just say anything we heard Alice P. Keaton say. Alice P. Keaton is Albayan. He's a citizen. They get different treatment from us. We have to go into it and find out what parts reflect where we stand. But in general, it's a commercial contract for them to do business on this land. And you gotta look at that. Like Chief Rod points out, I said the Duke of Tears points out, Brad Joyce said, one of the last publications, Brad Joyce said, we never had a peace treaty. That even that treaty is suspect because what you call a Native American is different from an autochthonous. Because a native could have been here generations before 1492, when the so-called explorers came over, / pirates, but they still came after in recent history. When you talk about antiquity takes you back so far, you might as well stop counting. We're talking hundreds of millennia, hundreds of thousands of millennia type of timeline, as opposed to some year in AD or not too far dipping into the BC, right? And I'm saying it like that. I wish I could say exactly, because it could be exactly some AD, right? Timeline with a native Mongolian type who became pretty much, that phenotype became associated with the so-called Indian Native Americans, as if they owned this exclusively and nobody else was here with them or before them. When in all actuality, there were people before them a long time, and we look at things like the Olmec heads. Look just like Lights Out Tony James, Brad Jordan, a few other people, Olmec heads. Now, those are extremely old, massive in size, and that's just only digging so deep. Some of you didn't have to dig. Just go into the Amazonian jungle, here and there, Yucatan, Central America, whatever, South America, and you find them. Many artifacts were even here that are hidden, that are linked up just like that. Totem pole, you only see the U-totem. The gas station, the convenience store U-totem used to have a totem pole out there. So they try to hide anything that shows that, you know, the big broad nose, big thick lips, and a melanated skin. Got photographs of us in the dress, whether it be a cowboy style hat, jacket, tie, belt, boots, or the feathers, headdress, with all the bones and shells and all that kind of stuff they use to make the I don't know what to say, the so-called Indian dress. So like I say, they are up on everything I do, because number one, they want to catch me commit some crime. That way, if they can get me on a good stiff felony, they can sit there and fold their hands on things that are sitting there on the court record, for the record, about Judge Leslie B. Rothenberg, officer, Metro Dade, so-called officer, was appointed and selected Inquisition agent of Rome, Metro Dade William B. Hine, from the 1994 case. And the magistrate Leslie B. Rothenberg, who parades around and plays to be a judge, being a courtroom player in the courtrooms, venues. They have suppressed the consular courts to the point they don't even exist, to the best of my knowledge. By threat, duress, and coercion, we are dragged to the court houses, into the courtrooms, where the Inquisition agents of Rome are continuing the threat, duress, and coercion with the gun in the courtroom. That's a no-no. That's federal. Then you have the correction officer with switchblades and mace and handcuffs, ready to take you across the catwalk when you're down in the 11th Judicial Circuit Court, around 13th Ave, around 13th Street, roughly, by the state attorney's office and the public defender's office. You had a courthouse and DCJ, right? We call it the catwalk. right across the Annex Bridge, you right back into the catacombs, right? In the dungeons, where they have people like La Diabla, cannibals in there. You gotta live, they force you to live with people like that. Somebody soon might wake up and she be eating them raw. Wake up and she be feasting them. She's a cannibal. She's a maniac. She's a beast. She's a savage. They got La Diabla. These are the type of people I be talking about when I tell you to come to class, man. Learn to protect yourself with these. I have a second cousin. May the Lord be pleased with his life service. Raymond Jr. From what I heard, he didn't need my class. From what I heard, Sensei Nasty B. Jesse Richardson, Nisi Goju told me in the class, he always tell the class, you can't fight multiple attackers by yourself. Run, go tell, go get the police and all that. When I train, and I get away from teachers like that, because I'm gonna respect that class, get what they got to give. When I train for multi-direction. You might not be able to see the asterisk if I drew it on the ground, but an asterisk is like 3 crosses. One cross here, take another cross, put it here, and another cross, put it here. So you got a lot of lines, like sun rays coming out from the center of a sun. And with multiple attackers, you have to use to your advantage gaps if there are. If they're not, you have to create gaps. But you can't try to run through a gap when there's too little space between you and each attacker. That forces you to fight. But in the fight, you want to keep in mind. That's why I say get it all. I was just looking at some American style wrestlers, like you would see in American high school or something, doing the Russian tie. And it just, for some reason, the algorithm was giving me the Russian tie. So one guy I just saw Bud Crawford in an old film do a guy like this. Bud Crawford had about a neck like this. The guy facing Bud got his hand behind his neck. So the instructor had the student, the uke, do him like that. So the uke has his hand here, like a grappler. Terry Caraway said, don't never let a man grab you. He was teaching me Taekwondo in the stockades. They'll never let a man grab you. I got a shout out to Dukatillas too. I'm just listening to him this morning and last night. I haven't heard the whole of it, but I missed that because my phone was down. So back to Bud and this other instructor. The guy has him like this, and they grapple it. So he got to the bicep area, right? He gonna be on the outside of that. Guy's here. So I got some more body. And I go here, right? But he hunched his hand up. He did like this for this to do that. For him to lose that grip. He hunched and came in and put his shoulder behind this guy's shoulder who got him like this. He put his shoulder back there. He hunched up for this hand to not be right here that would be above the 7 cervical vertebrae cupping the medulla, right up under the cranium. Cranium bone, medulla, 7 cervical vertebrae. So his hand is there, nice good grappling spot. But if you don't go on to do what you gotta do, somebody do something like this is gonna be the Russian tie. So he did like this, get that simultaneously, he get there and knock him, and take him, and then he gonna fall into the tie and take him down. So I'm saying that to say, when we study these arts, we get the katas, You get the OGYs and the techniques and all that. The main thing we need to be thinking about, and this is going toward Deshi, my professor, Sensei Jerry Denson, 8th Dan. So we can call him master, or probably grandmaster. He was very humble about his official specific title. He would allow you to call him Sensei, or he'll let you call him Jerry. But in his class, his black belts ain't gonna let you get away with that. They'll correct, hey, they'll make you give the right title, at least say Sensei or Professor, right? And raise your hand before speaking. So now, Deshi, that's the term was introduced to me by Sensei Jerry Denson. Master Jerry Denson. A Deshi. I spell it D-E-S-H-I. I think that's a Japanese term. It's not probably Chinese. Deshi. Deshi is a devoted student. So devoted that his devotion will give rise to what eventually will eventually become a complete reuse system. Like Grandmaster Frank Ruiz, Grandmaster Moses Powell, Visitation, Viadas Jiu-Jitsu, Grandmaster V. These type of people will want somebody's student here and there. But now, the Deshi part, what's going to happen when you see these Ryu, I wish I could name some more that you don't hardly hear about. Taekwondo, Shotokan, you probably done heard of that. There's a lot more out there that a lot of us haven't heard about. When you see each Ryu, Krav Maga, you're going to always see something that you're familiar with. You probably can call it out and they'll say, yeah, that is that. But it's the opportunity presents itself to you, which is a threat. We're not to be the aggressors. So the threat presents itself to you. And you don't have but so much time. So Grandmaster Herbert Thompson taught us, if we in Nisigo Jew, it's fight stands down. So if this is fight stands down, based on what he said hit him with the closest thing to him. So okay, this is going to be a lot like boxing then. Because that hand is a little bit past my foot. So that lead foot is most likely what I'm going to be dealing with. Right? Could have threw a Yoko Get It out there. Right? Bam! Right? That's the closest thing. This has the furthest reach. Not a hook, not a shovel, not an uppercut, not an overhand. That right there in boxing, it would be a jab. We call it strike, as far as I know, in karate, or uchi, right? It's a name for, I did this Yakizuki, I think. You say, hey, I think that Yakizuki, I think. There's so many different things to keep up with. So, closest thing to him is gonna be a knuckle punch, one knuckle, two knuckle, dragon seeking the pearl, Toraguchi, right? Washide, because it's all predicated on this. Pretty much, I just have to change my hand a little bit, and it's the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So a shuto going around the side, that's more like a hook or a slap. Haito, my mistake. But I could do a shuto here or here, but that's not a direct line. So quickness, Sensei Jerry Denson talked about quickness, not fast, not speed, quick. Before I can blink one time, you have done something 3 times. Quick. And you got people out there like that. So that straight line, slide rule, might get it. Bah! Because that's the lead. Right? Especially if I took a bladed stance. If I blade off of you, see this? It's gonna be the power side. I'm gonna do a southpaw stance, right? If my right is in, yeah, that's unorthodox. So if I blade that, this can no longer shoot from the hip. Even this can't quite do it like it can from here. Now I could go straight out, right? And even then I had to, what? Get into a different type of tachi. Get prepared for a Gettin, which is a kick. A tachi is a stance. If it's in a compound word, it becomes dachi. If you say it just by itself, it's tachi. So now, when I blade that stance, now it's straight that way, which does help when we have multiple attackers. We gotta remember, when we are in class, behind the back, I'm the attacker. Somebody standing in front of me. I'm creeping up behind them or whatever, how I got back there. And I drape my forearm, snake my hand around, drape my forearm. Now my impate, now bicep and tricep. This hawtyyyReddd goes into the carotid artery. Right? And I can begin to cut off the circulation of blood to the brain, which starts to get to sleep like chokehold effect, right? So we have techniques for that. First of all, defend yourself from the universe. All these techniques we're compiling is not for show off. I don't dare nobody know. No, I don't want to see it happen. So I'm always kind of checking out, clocking to make sure nobody can do stuff like that. From like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8-ish and 8-ish. You know, we don't want to rest on that. Every time we turn, all that changes. Now 6 o'clock is over here. Yeah, but I just had that. It was my 9, 10, 11, right? 12. But when see, if somebody would stand in front of me and strike me, try to strike me and grab or something, right? Then I simply did this. That affords me not only the avoidance of being grabbed or struck, I get to see. So being more mindful of what we already know, but we're not being mindful of it. And a lot of times we have some defeatist thought or defeatist attitude that tell we can't, yes you can. Now this ain't gonna pick up. See, that's a lot of stuff around me I can see y'all can't see. Because I can use this stuff to show you, because it's something, an object actually there. So you can see me in real time skip in this direction and pow, right about where the shin and the ankle is. Right? I might land, let me get back in the, I might land right behind here, my foot, and I can employ some type of sweep and whatnot. And we have so many weapons. I don't always have to get a traditional judo gi hold, or maybe right perfectly on the wrist. Sometimes with the uchimata, we get it kind of like around here and get the wrist area uchimata, judo throw. You know, I could also do a totaguchi right here, which is worse than grabbing some clothes, some threads. I can shoot a totaguchi up in the cock, right? Totaguchi is a web hand strike, but it's also constriction. And it's nerve here. There's a lot going on right up in here. We all like to go to the barber and just let him have his way with your head. It's a lot going on up in here. But totaguchi, which you can do to the eyes too, not just dragon seeking the pearl, I can mic kita to the eyes, tiger raking the sand, that eventually get to the eyes just for the whole face, but it'll mess with the eyes too, inshallah. And the strike will disrupt the breathing. The clench will stop it, the wind flow. Now I can also get my wrist broke like that, my fingers broke, my hand, my forearm, my elbow joint, my shoulder, my clavicle, my neck, if I'm not careful. That's why we don't do anything if we don't have to. We are taking ourselves in consideration first, not just the jailhouse, not just the Inquisition's agent of Rome, so-called officer of the peace. My own personal help. La Diabla, the she-devil, Hispanic. I don't remember exactly what country she hails from, but she's Spanish speaking, Spanish name, La Diabla. She looked like a little shorty, right? And that's very dangerous. And a female especially, because in public, a child is trained to obey adults and be disciplined. And she could come to them and just say something small. She could even ask for some help. She's little too. Could you help me lift this a big old bag of rice? Big old case of Goya black beans into the SUV, into the Honda, Toyota. And a little child probably think, "Oh, get a few dollars." These days, you got to give them about 20 these days, 20 or 50. Back in the day, we do it for some change. Nowadays, that little money ain't nothing no more. And before you know it, and see, with kidnapping, human trafficking, rape, kidnapping for whatever, kidnapping, rape, murder, serial killer. It's a lot of weapons out there. The gun is not the only equalizer. You got things way more clever than the gun, because the gun, pump, make a lot of noise. If there's no silence on it, you stuff it in the watermelon, potato or something, you know. But it's dust particle. It can be something liquid, thin liquid, no smell, no taste. You go to your car, put your hand on the car, get in. Before you can close the door and lock the door, you out. It was on a doorknob. Human traffickers are working. Look up La Diabla, the she-devil. Martha, something. She got about 5 names, government names. She got a first name, about 1 or 2 last names, and about 2 or 3 middle names, like them Hispanic-speaking people be doing. They call La Diabla for short. She hooked up with the, I think, Jalisco cartel. I think that's El Chapo's sons them. They claimed they was feeding people to the tigers who were messing up dope money. But you know what they probably was doing? They probably was human trafficking. And when they couldn't get a buyer for them body parts, of human bodies stink real bad when it started decomposing. It take a lot of work to get rid of their human body before the odor hits all out in the rural area, suburbia, or if you're in an urban area. They probably were feeding tigers the junkyard dog scrap parts of the people who body part they couldn't sell in time. It's a lucrative market, but it's like selling antiques. Everybody ain't running around buying body parts like that. Everybody can't afford them. I'm talking about them underground Brazilian butt lift, breast enhancement or reduction. A lot of states, they were talking about outlawing abortion. So while you getting your ass done, your titties done, and fat sucked off your thighs and off your obliques and hanging over wherever it's at and hanging and putting it here, you can get abortion too next door for a few more pesos. That same equipment, stainless steel and operating table and all that, they can sit there and put some anesthesia on somebody if they wish, or it might make you suffer. Strap your behind down. They might have a fetish for some stuff like that. To hear people screaming and writhing in agony and can't get, and they cutting your ass up. talking to each other in Spanish. Iceland Creole, wherever you at. Dutch. Boy, them goddamn Dutch. Cut your butt up. And probably come and they draw from the screen. Free! And they exist. Just to show us werewolf, Sasquatch, and the vampire Dracula and all that in so many ways that's basically real. When people are eating human flesh, that's why we scared of them on a horror movie. That thing gonna bite us, we gonna bleed, we gonna die. Some of that stuff do eat you on TV. In the real world, it's the man walking past you, the Oscar button down. Probably Hard Rock Hollywood Hotel. He might be dealing the cards to that sucker. He or she. Yeah. They might perform some of that stuff right upstairs in the hotel. There's so many people come and go. Anybody lose track of that. Especially with somebody getting paid to look the other way. That's a huge facility. Walt Disney World. And these are places where Walt Disney, they ain't told on Hard Rock Hollywood yet. Let me see it, I'm telling you. Walt Disney, they say a lot of it goes down there. Human trafficking. That's a part of the reason why it got shut down. But I said all that to say, to go into about La Diabla, because I had just came across that. I put it on my IG, but I don't think I had got around to the YouTube post and all that to really go into it and talk about it. A lot of people don't interact with my IG. But I see I get a lot of views on YouTube. I share it to Facebook. I'm trying to come back. And to be honest, I came back kind of strong from my loss of my old Facebook, my old YouTube, all the old stuff, old email, everything old. They won't give me access to anything. I just found out when I got this particular phone, it might be a way. Because they backed up my stuff. But I don't know why. I had to find out. I got to approach them about it, see what they do. So many things to do in a day. So, and we talked about that Russian twit. We were talking about Deshi. A Deshi. We have to start thinking about the principles of body mechanics. Not so much the technique we know. See, I could be taught a technique. Right? I could be taught a technique. I know exactly what I'm doing. I remember this. That's even sitting on the branch right there. But when will the time afford for me to do that? And who's to say I'm gonna do it? Because I might miss. He might be sweaty, greasy, whatever. You try that. A lot of jujitsu, you gotta deflect, redirect, control, and absorb. Sifu Tony Rocks. Sifu Tony Watts. Redirecting, controlling, absorbing. Right? It don't always go just like that. We can practice that shit a million times in the dojo in the streets. You might pop, 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 pop. It don't take but so many pops when it's real, because a lot of times they probably got a knife or something. Probably broke a bottle on the ground, got the shattered shards at the bottom with the bottleneck. Might pick up a nice raggedy, rusted pole with little spiky stuff on that'll puncture skin, and this, oh my God, fractured skull. It's a pole like a Ray-Bar type of grade metal. Really hard, but light enough to really well. And all it takes is a strike or two. You know, you get struck in the eye, you can't see. Oh man, get crucial. In the streets, it get real crucial, real quick. So when we think about the principles of body mechanics, based on where the person is in relation to where we are, you know, if a person is right there facing me, but where am I? Facing, you know, in relation to where he is, facing this way. We could be face to face here. We can here, right? And what position am I in? You know, does he have a piece of my clothes? You know, all this quick thinking we need to do, exploiting what the person is doing. So judging from the visual, I guess they pulled somebody doorbell ring camera or something like that. But my second cousin was murdered in an attempted robbery, what it looks like. That's kind of like the consensus so far. And I think they found the perpetrators. And but when they found it, they said on the tape they could see. Matter of fact, I think that's the first evidence they had. They couldn't see who it was, but they saw Raymond Jr. whipping their ass. 2 attackers. One got frustrated, pulled out a firearm, and I think it was, from what I remember, it was somebody he knew. They knew each other, like got each other phone number type of, like called each other kind of thing, text. So that was very dumb. And that had to be rooted in jealousy. Or they took a hit. It had to be somebody don't mind going to jail. Because you got to know, if y'all calling each other, meeting up here and there over the course of months or whatever, and you have not done anything to cover up the fact that that phone belonged to you, and you even probably went over his house, whatever they was doing, I don't know. But you got to know you're going to jail if you do that. So I'm not going to go into that mindset of the type of person, you know, fugazi, that don't mind going to jail for that long. Might get a death penalty. Maybe. If not, because that's a little looster there, right? Miami and looster, they probably give them slap on the wrist like they stuck and did Scooby Brown, Derrick D'Anthony Brown murderers like that. They snuck and gave him 20 by knowingly making a mistake, right? Of roughly 23 years ago or something like that. And they knew down the line, them boys would be able to get back out because of that mistake that the state made during the process. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, preliminary issue, what type of issue it was. Procedural with the arresting officer, what was it? I don't know. But that mistake was a violation to their rights, and because of that, it was kind of like not necessarily mistrial, but it was malfeasance or tort on behalf of the state. Therefore, they reduced the sentence down to 90 credit time served, 20 years. They got out, roughly 20 years. Murdered a man in cold blood. Ripped my heart and soul out. So, with the sentences of these 2 guys here, they might go light and let them get away with cold-blooded murder. You know, the man is continuing a legacy in the music industry. The man had a recording studio. He was a real estate agent. Graduated from high school. Apparently, he probably went beyond higher learning, beyond high school. And I don't know anybody else of his generation that close to us doing that. That's Poison Clan all day long. So that's why I didn't go up there. I got serious beef up there, and I might go up there while I'm around my family, and you know, somebody might trigger me, and I got my family there. So that's another reason I'm not up there, because I got family up there. I'm trying to keep them out of my shit that will occur just because I'm there, present. So if I'm not there, all them, they don't have to worry about them stray bullets and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I didn't even go to the funeral. And I know the feds gonna be watching and all, just because of me. Because, you know, I might use that as an excuse to handle my beef up there, what I got up there. You know, we're all black to the funeral. Go to about 9, change the outfit, change the wardrobe out there, but I got 9 black outfits. All black. Right? Pantyhose and all. Right? So I said, let me stay down here, keep grinding, try to get some money, because I really do need some money bad. I need some money bad. Everybody done cut my throat. So the Deshi, your donations will be greatly appreciated. The Deshi keys in on body mechanics, pressure points, for one. Studies those. Goes places where people will lie him. Anywhere from his girlfriend, let him massage her. Maybe a family member. Might have a sickly family member. Some of y'all practice out there, offer massage to somebody. And pay attention and say, oh. Yeah. And imagine, while you massage that, now you can think in your mind about the different strikes you can employ right there. You was pushing up, somewhere in the backbone, pushed up in an angle. I said, let's stay right there, find out where that's at. Look at it. See? That's one way. You go to a dojo, if they get into that, subo. Be a nerve striking too, because a lot of times when they're teaching you, they're going to slow it down to a turtle place. They'll talk to you like Tom and Kello them. That's how Sensei Giri do it. Everything from the head to toe. He's going to set you up. Now, I'm saying all that to say, somebody like La Diabla, these are the type of people that are real. The Jalisco cartel, this is real, man. You can find yourself, and remember, it's not just because somebody owed us some drugs. People were saying that. The news media said that. But now La Diabla is connected to them. That's a fact. She is in the human trafficking period. You slip, she grip. You for sale. Whether she kill you or not, she doesn't know what the buyer's gonna do to you. Sometimes they want to make you a slave, especially when they're very young. I can't remember who was just saying that recently, but that's an age-old practice where they're selling infants and toddlers who don't really know who they are yet. People buying them. Not just no white people either. Albion. Knowing full well it's not their child. This is a kidnapped individual. And La Diabla is known for killing poor women who are pregnant, and she will dissect the woman and take the baby out of the womb. Now don't let that first part go past you too fast. Put yourself in that dead woman's, pregnant woman's shoes. Don't think it can't happen to you, and you walk around like ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. How you know that? How you know that? Right? Then when the baby come out, got him like this, got him in a stroller. Sometimes you got one still in the stroller and another one. And get all three of y'all. The other one, about 3-4 years old walking. One 7 years old, they get all 4-5 y'all. They think it's a game. Think it's a game. So the Deshi gets it to Subo, Pia. Right? Kazushi. You don't need but so much imbalance to be set up, to be swept off your feet. Moving quick enough. When I do something like that, let me be more realistic, because we're not to be the aggressor. So I'm gonna start with an uke, right? Pretty much like a sweeping block, half a closing door, right? And kind of like a wax on, wax offish. I did both, right? So I just deflected something coming in, a grab or a strike, and got the person doing something like this. Stay in the camera. The person was grabbing or striking, and we just like that. Got him something like this. And now he's ready to go forward. And I can push him forward a little bit and take him back. You know, we want to be less textbook in real life, because you never know what that person has. So judoka, we go feint into a throw into a throw, all that kind of stuff. Especially if we can get a nice jujitsu. It ain't got to be perfect. The type that got a name on it or something effed up for them, convenient for you. You got to be exactly all that, but have them all up. And now, that way, if I get a going, right, like Zenketsu was a ish, if I get that going, lock him up and throw him, he's less likely to break his fall if he even has the mind, conscious mind to do that. Now, if I go to doing this and I strike, beep, strike him somewhere that's gonna dizzy him, right? Beep, break him down. When I do this throw, he's probably not in the mind frame of breaking that fall. So when I do that throw, right, I take him to the ground, bam! Quite likely he breaks something up in here. That's what we need. We don't need this. We don't need them. And we were talking about that the other day at Mopar. Feints and fakes. You don't need nobody in front of you fainting and faking, boy. Because when they finally take off, that might be all they need. They might take off without a feint or fake. Because a lot of times when there's no provocation, it's going to be quick, it's going to be fast, it's going to be surprised, because you don't have a reason to believe that's going down. We should always stay in the fighter spirit of DC Goju, karate. We should always practice patience. We should always practice courtesy. We should be quick to seize opportunity. Nothing is impossible. We should always be aware. And a lot of people won't give you flack for this. Me personally, they haven't caught me out there overreacting to small, minor things like they try so hard to do. They try. So now they got impatient with that and just start coming. The police themselves claim they've been called out. That's what they say. And they'll come by the time they get there, like 3-4 cars. This is happening in Hollandale. One of the reasons why I came to this park in Miami. See, my father, Jimmy James Leon Mackey, was director of the city of Miami, that's Dade County, Parks and Recreation Golden Glove program. Used to be a prize fighter, lightweight champion of Florida and California. He was born in 1936. You can look him up. Right? And back then you had some hell of a fighters too. That's another thing. First of all, the average man was a man. He worked with his hands, his backbone, his toe. He was out here doing something all his life. A lot of guys grew up picking beans in the field, and farming is one of the hardest jobs, the old school farming. When you yourself till the soil, first you gotta clear it out if it ain't already clear. Sometimes you got to landscape as far as the ground itself, like they did in Florida. They had to change the sticks, the swamps, into what we have now. Imagine what type of job that was. You have a wilderness, but it's a swamp. Think on that. A lot of y'all young people don't even know what it's like to have a lot of grasshoppers and mosquitoes and lightning bugs. You don't even see lightning bugs at night. In Georgia and Florida, well, I grew up at large for the most part. You see lightning bugs at night. You can catch them and put them in a jar. Put holes in a jar, and they light up. Then you gotta let them go so they don't die. Right? Grasshopper used to have the green, yellow, red, orange with a little brown on it. Big old grasshoppers on all the yards. A lot of yards used to have the green, bush with the red berry hedges. They love them. For some reason, they love them. And it's a lot of things we had. We used to have exotic birds when I was very young. We used to have a lot of exotic birds and seabirds way back over here. Because Biscayne Boulevard is right down there by the bay. So, you know, it's only like 5 blocks in my area, in 53rd Northwest. It's only about 5 blocks to get to Miami Ave. That separates Northeast from Northwest. Yeah, north, on this side of what? Flagler Street. Northeast and Northwest. You get the brick of that Southeast, Southwest. So our Miami Ave on right up in here, 53rd, 54th, about 5 blocks till you get to Biscayne. Now over there, it's some more blocks past on the east side of Biscayne too now, until you get to the bay, but not long. You can walk, ride a bike. So that's why we had a lot of storks and flamingo. We had it was beautiful. You go outside as a child, man, you enchanted. It's better than TV, right? And we had a lot of domestic and imported birds. Colorful, like parrot jungle type of thing. Yeah. So anyway, to say, addition. If you have to write it down, draw a chart. I like to draw and do audio visual. So something could happen to the tape, to the film. Something could happen to try to have different sources, right? Most reels you would see, they got books, written form. They got film, right? They got sketches and diagrams and stuff like that. Do it all. Try to enlist a team. If somebody want to be your student, put them to work. They're in school and all that. They can read and write. Some of that could be their school project. You know, that way you can multitask, and the person won't be like, well, I ain't got time. I got to do this and that. But you got a project coming up. You know, woo, you know what I'm saying? So we have to be more like Adeshi. Anytime, we have to be just like Adeshi. Anytime, we have to be the Adeshi. They say the master will reveal himself to the student when the student is ready. You ready to meet the master when you become the master, mastering your craft of self, so-called defense. We say response techniques. We have techniques for responding to aggression. Now, if we have to take the initiative because we have to do that for our own protection, then that's a set-up technique. But we're not setting them up in the classic sense of the term like a street gang, like set somebody up. Like, no, we call it that because what we're doing is setting the stage for something they have no idea. And we talked about the slip the other day. When I say throw your hip, when we did the windshield wiper, can you see this line? This white line? I think you can see it by the time I get out here. The windshield wiper, that's the punch line. Right? If I was doing a slip, I'd be right here slipping on the punch line, right? But somebody punches down that line, and just how you windshield wipe, right? I wipe off and get over here. Now I'm up on him. We was talking about that the other day at more par. When I said if I'm the striker, the puncher, right? He's going to end up right here, facing me, and I'm doing this. Remember we talked about that? So that's a setup, that's an example, right? They don't realize what I'm doing when I just do this. Because you ever see the repertoire of Iron Mike Tyson is a good person to study because he has something you can find. There's a lot of practitioners out there, but they ain't on no film nowhere, okay? Now that's Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson. He got a lot of stuff. It ain't just this. He got a lot of stuff in that family of, Joe Louis just used the term the other day. Ow, I forgot the term. He was talking about 15 different slips. It's a term for this, head encroachment. Okay? He has one where he does the head encroachment. Right? Right? Pretty much like that. And I'm not gonna get it all. I'd be dripping and sweating and all that. But he has so many different ones along the way. It's it works well with the windshield wiper. That's one of his techniques. And any good teacher, like Customato was A1. Customato up there was some of the best out there, like Ip Man. Any good teacher, they remember what they taught you. They know when you start kind of getting it down pat. They say, well, if he gonna end up doing something like that, everything from the day one, everything I give him. That's why certain people get certain caught, some other people don't get caught. The same teacher, same class. I got Ibuki caught, right? Sensei such and such, he got poison hands. This sensei, he got this, he got that, you know, whatever. But based on what he gives you, he knows if you're gonna be doing some of that, right? If I'm doing something that he gave me going this way, for instance, I just used that earlier, I'll do that again. I'll do this. Nico Achidachi. I deflect the grab here. So now, that's one attacker. Come next week, I done got about 15, 20 different techniques. If I pay attention, a lot of times they won't say it. But if I pay attention, which I do, I say, man, you know what? It's like he giving me everything I need in case this go wrong or some more people come along and do what they more likely to do because I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, a lot of techniques switch side, right? A lot of techniques, they afford you a chance to peek. I'm standing forward when he attacked me. But when I did this, I get to peek back without even really trying to do that, but I'm gonna do it. Fucking with me. But I can get the kind of peek back while still looking, I still can see this. I can see that. As opposed to just seeing this. And that's off rip. Right? That's off rip. A lot of stuff we do. Right? Now, under pressure, you don't have time to really think and plot. But you know the body. That's why you study the body. I study every day I wake up. Every day, every time throughout the day, what time done went by and I ain't thought about it. I've been on IG and Facebook and Snapchat and looking at a booty going by and all that. And then before you know it, I'm over there. I'm refamiliarizing myself with the average person that got a body like mine. They work on a lot of animals too. See, I ain't got to sit there and let a dog just maul me to death. I can try to do something. The dog, I'm walking, jogging in the morning, the dog coming and come at me. I can swat one of them arms and catch it and sling him to the ground. Bing! All monk all this up, cotton. So when he get up, he ain't gonna be none of that. A lady going walking to work, the Walmart, they think it was about $5 to $7, $8. They might have saw them cameras, but they don't know who dogs it is. And I noticed these days they don't have a lot of packs of wild dogs no more for some reason. Most neighborhoods had a pack of stray dogs. Nobody owned them. I don't see stray dogs no more. Nowhere. And I travel more area than I used to. And I post up in the hood a lot more than I used to outside after hours when I be in the house sleep. I'm out with the hard rocks in the air, on the air, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? And no dogs sniffing around. I said, well, gentrification did bring a lot of Asians and Albayans back into the communities. Getting to be more of them than us. So they might be barbecuing them and whatever else. Asians know how to get substance out of any living being. If you find out what they're doing with living organisms, it sounds a lot like I've knew and all that when you think about the witch's brew. We study in textbook in school about the witch. She get something off of this insect and a piece of this, a piece of that. The Asians know how to extract what humans need from living organisms. It can be something as seemingly insignificant as the eyelash of an iguana. They have gone into each particle of a being that they can find to find out what does it have yield the most abundance. They take that and make medication, food, and all kinds of stuff. And I swear for God, there's a lot of Chinese restaurants. A lot of Asian food in the frozen food section in Walmart, and ain't no telling what that stuff is. Anyway, they know what you go for. They know how to spell in English BEEFCHICKE. It don't mean that's what's in there. So look, man, the Deshi knows I must do something. I must do it fast. I must maintain my balance, my poise, because there is where I have my transitional movements. I want to do a little demonstration, but I'm going to get funky. I'm going to get sweaty. I ain't hardly sweat yet. The minute I start that job, boy, I'm going to be dripping wet. So now, La Diabla. Touching on La Diabla, how you need to get with somebody. There's a lot of free stuff out there too, on YouTube. You need to subscribe to some of them people. If you can afford it, go on and buy them packages, man, where you get a whole lot more. Because that's crumbs to what they really can do for you. And like Danny Bodish be telling Tommy and Kello, man, you're giving them everything, man. But I swear, before YouTube came out and all this kind of stuff, cyberspace, I remember, bro, going to the gym, so much enthusiasm, you know, and get there, come and leave like dejected, mad as hell. And anybody who know me personally, like know me, like see me around on the regular, that's why it's heavy on basics. Tom Platt, a famous bodybuilder, I think he's won championships and all. Tom Platt, he talks about compound exercise, basic. The basic squat, you know, you don't need a pistol squat. I mean, not a pistol squat, but a split squat and all that. The basic squat, bench press, all that is and he give you the recipe. If you do that, you're gonna get there. You know, all this other stuff, a lot of people trying to make it seem like everybody was wrong all that time and they know the way because they studied for a million hours, and either you can study for a million hours if you got the time, or you can just click here, subscribe like here, and pay some money, and he gonna show you, yeah, open sesame, and he got this, yeah, whatever. Tom Platt, people like that, man. You know, a lot of old school, you tell us that. Matter of fact, put on a gi. Put some hand wrap on, put some gloves on, mouthpiece on. You want to put some hair, come get it, show me what you're talking about. While I'm doing me. Right? Show me. Now. Right? Tom Platt talk about that, how you know, the basics. Because if you look at what you're doing MMA, boxing, judo, competition, karate, and whatnot. Think about what you're doing. Like, feel that. Feel your body trying to complete that. And you should be able to say, well, shit. Sometimes the coach might have you do some stuff, and it should click in your mind, well, hell, if I go take some of my free time and go to the gym, do some push-ups, do squats, you can do it with your own body weight. This is calisthenics, right? You can do that. Matter of fact, you should do that when you have a problem getting to the weights consistently. Don't let that be an excuse. Do some push-ups, do some squat, body weight squats. You can do bunny hops. It's a bunch of shit you can start doing. But all this stuff is getting you ready. It may look silly. You want to get in the 52s. I wish I could remember his name because I like to give everybody the credit they deserve. You get in 52, but the brother online talked about how 52s, man, they hit you everywhere from here to the bottom of your feet. Working these, coming at working 52s. right? Now see that move I just made? I had to spur the moment. Kind of remind me like Ramil. I kind of felt like I tried to imitate Ramil. I just did something. But Mr. 52, Ramil, Righteous Win family, right? That shows you I need to be doing this. Duty, bro, the game, 007. Duty. See, I need to be doing repetitiously. My theory is that exercise can supplement for the actual fight. Sparring, kumite. You don't. If you got common sense, you don't need that. If I'm doing my ab work, right? If I know technique, now I'm not saying don't go to class. I'm not saying that. I say you don't need to spar. If you got any common sense, if you ever had a fight, you know why I know? Because growing up, I hardly ever spar. I have, but we talking about here and there. Probably add up, probably have fingers left on my one hand if I count like this. Now, it came from actual fights where I couldn't help because I'm in the fight. And if like my mama tell me, go tell, yeah, I turn my back to go tell, they jump up and mump me up. So, you know, if I got a belligerent, depending upon how, like the statute say, with the parent ability to do so. If you're talking about doing it and you're close enough to really, really do it, and I'm in a big, bad position, I take off. If I'm up on my feet, I wait on it. But usually I was in a bad position. Right? So I can't let you take advantage of my bad position and mump me up real bad. I gotta go before you go. And you just said what you're gonna do around some witnesses and walked up to do that we're here. Right? But when you get these techniques, can you hear what the man is saying? Did you see what they did? You can only imagine, because a lot of stuff we've been through this as children. We know what it's like to get pushed, to get slapped, to get punched, to get scratched, right? Which is a lot of maybe a chop, backhanded by another student or our parent beating our behind, right? So we know how to do this, but we don't know all these techniques. So you get the technique, you think about the time. I could go in a heavy bag and do that. Common sense tell me ain't nobody gonna let me just come in there. You can't even see what I'm doing. I mean, you can't see me no more. But common sense tell me. But sometimes we not training the whole shit. It might be just the footwork. How quick am I moving to get a position to do this? Am I getting right? Get a position to do this knee, grab the back of that head. Bringing it to a knee, whatever I'm doing, right? Because at certain points of the interaction where, for the most part, the person doesn't know what you're doing. They don't have a so-called defense because they don't know what you're doing. But at some point, you're going to start revealing your intention. Body mechanics will say. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do so you can be looking for it. I'm going to do a power side, my Gettin. That'll be coming off my right. I'm in the orthodox stance. I'm gonna stay in that stance. And I'm gonna close a little distance, make it kind of realistic, and now do it. Now you saw that, right? Now, do I have to fight a million times with a person to be able to do that and land? If somebody taught me that how to flex my foot so that the heel strikes, pull the toe back, heel strike, pull the toe back, and the ball of the toe, not the tippy toe, but the ball of the toe, which is about right up in here. If you fit this shoe, your ball would be right up in here. The tip of the toes is here. So the ball will fall just beneath that, about right up in here. So you flex the foot, the toe will be coming back, and that lands. This is a my Gettin. This lands. You might do a yoke Gettin, and the blade of the foot, the blade will make the impact. So if you get somebody to break it down and teach you how to do these things, the best way, because I could do a raggedy one standing straight up. Be kind of raggedy for the average practitioner or the person who's not even a practitioner, because my balance is not going to be so good standing straight up. If I adopt a tachi, right, go to the person and then shoot, it'll be better. I should get way out there and come back. I should get way out there, come back, multiple part kick, because I got this little brace going on. I got more stability. Right? Standing straight up, that's the hardest thing to do. I barely got my foot off the ground. Anybody took ballet and all that, they know. When you get on that balance beam and stuff, every little thing you do. I'm about to fall over right now. I'm on this line right here. Every little thing I do, see, I would have failed. See, because my feet flat on the ground. See, I got all this to save me because I'm on the ground. If I was on the beam, I could have fell a few times. So ballet, you do ballet and all that, you know how hard it is to keep your balance straight up and even start doing things from here. You know, in karate, we're gonna be in a lot of like ballet type situations with our body strength. We're trying to pull something off. It's like a dance, it's a death dance. So those kicks, the Gettins, are assisted by the tachi. That low dip. Plus, if we wait, like Master Wong and all the rest of them tell you, Master Wong, don't start off like that. What? Don't do that. You just wasted something right there. If I wait for him to hit me, and he hits and I say, I just deflected it. I just did it. Right here. And then this came along when I trapped his wrist or forearm area, pulled him toward me like he's coming toward me anyway. I'm not muscling him. He's coming anyway. So when I deflected and pulled and assist his forward impetus, right? I got down into the stands and he runs. I don't really have to reach or strike out. I just place it and with a little thrust. And there it go. And that's just the beginning. Right? I might, instead of hate, I might like kind of don't even touch the face and go right, bam, right into bam, push pull, jujitsu like on the arm. Right there. Then do something up in there. Right? So remembering where it hurt at. The eyes, ear, throat doctor. The eye, ear, throat doctor. Where does it hurt? I know where a lot of stuff hurt. They get a doctor, get a little thing, boop, and do like that. I know a lot of stuff will get a nice reaction when I hit it. See? Given the opportunity, being the object of aggression, right? There you go. They might make it easy. Manhandling is one of the easiest ones. It might not be easy for when you get to certain individuals, because they very tough cookies, tough customers. But you know, they come into manhandling. It's a lot easier. You know, he might be leaning a lot when he do it, right? He might be trying to sneak up on you from behind. Something you catch him doing whatever they doing. It's a lot easier than somebody coming in real sporty like that. That's kind of tough there, right? And that's why Master V, Visitation, Beyond Jiu-Jitsu, sight, wind, legs. Sometimes legs want to be the first thing. See, if I lose this, you know, you ain't got to worry about big strong back and how's that teeth biting it all the time. He's worried about trying not to, trying to get it balanced, and you can cut out, run. I do somebody like that, and they go to falling over, even though I want to run. I might kick them. I sweep, but without I might kick them. Bop, bit. Them 2 kicks will be me stuck. It'll serve as me like I'm going over a little hill. So I kick him, bop, bop, and ran across. I run over. Kick, running like I done climbed trees with chops and kicks before. From the ground, right by William House on 53rd and 5th. Used to be a big tree right there on the median. Now I ran up to the tree just with kicks and chops. I got to the top. I whooped ass to the top of a tree. I didn't climb it. The traditional, I kicked and chopped. And went on up the tree like that. You can do a big, tall person like that. Some people get real tall and got a lot of brawn and stuff. Sometimes you might have to. You might have to. The distance from the goal to the bottom of the key, to the free throw line, something like that, from knee to knee. You might have to be the big person like that, right? David and Goliath. So, you know, big people, they lend certain conveniences. Somebody my side, I gotta go way down to get his dick. I gotta do like this, right? But the taller he get, the easier it is for me to just, bop, is right there. Or sit down and beep, got it right here. What's lower than that, the taller he get, the easier it is for me to get that. Bop! Right? I hit this, bop, bop. Or I can hit this. See? So you don't get intimidated by size. A lot of times size give you an advantage. It's easy to get up under this and eat this up. If you're not in a boxing ring, you can only hit above the belt. And you can't hit behind the head and all that. Then, yes, we go. We ain't out here blowing. Now you can't even see my feet. Is you, my baby. This shit, you can fall for it. God, you got this shit out of my little stuff too. I'm gonna be photos, y'all. So that shit gonna be photos, y'all. Let me see. Well, anyway, La Diabla inspired me to say a little bit more, but I still ain't teaching y'all shit. Her and her goon, they gonna get y'all there. You know they got underground tunnel, you know, El Chapo tunnel. That's what they got access to. I'm talking about the roof. Y'all can't see this, the roof higher than this one. Right? In some spots it look like you in an underground city. Don't even look like no tunnel no more, like a city. It's a labyrinth of a network of underground, and they'll have you in a being, push you in a herby-kirby, body parts sticking out. You ain't even connected no more. So, La Diabla got me back thinking like that. The she-devil, La Diabla. She's a human trafficker. This is real talk. They try to make it seem like you out to lunch. You crazy, delusional, and all that. And all the while, they, you know, a lot of times what it is, man, they just wanna. If it is a civilian that started the job, they probably just jealous, right? Trying to get you in trouble. Probably some type of competitive move, you know, because I got my hand, many eyes in the fire. My hand in so many cookie jars, so I'm gonna have a whole lot of enemies who may feel like, you know, that short-sighted mindset that with that person out of the picture, you know, they can take over the world. So or the police have a way to remotely view the areas that I am, which a lot of cases they do. And somebody tells them to go check me out. And I had to, since it ended the way it ended both times, I had to chop that up to the game, because you have now these active shooters and all this kind of, it's a lot of shit happening now. It's a lot of stuff that you don't expect to happen. So actually a place like that is now the place where it's gonna happen. If it's gonna happen. Because that's what a domestic, if it's domestic, the people, whether they are together or not, they share children. So sometimes the father might drop the child off there and the mother picks the child up. Sometimes they both show up. Sometimes they might be a facility where they all go to, like a Starbucks, for instance. You know, the child, high school or college child or whatever, and the parent, they all like Starbucks, you know, and they all tend to do one particular one because it's in the area where they live. So when things happen, you know, it's going to be where they each know each other to be. And these things, I mean, Alapata, another place I'm at, down the street, I be at Alapata, Angela Park, just to the south, around about the same ave, like 17. It's a male killed the female that he was dealing with. It's a sister got shot on like 27th Avenue or 22nd Avenue at a food truck in that same area. You know, within like an 8-10 block radius or something like that, 15-20 block radius. So it's just every time I look, I gotta get there. I only got one of those coming to my phone now. I had about 2 or 3 different news apps coming to my phone, and they know your area with the phone telling the location. So I'm getting stuff from Dade, Palm Beach, and Broward, but even as far as like the UK, you know. So India, places like that, they're giving me news, and it's a lot of the same stuff. And like I say, why I'm hesitant to teach, because it seems like the wrong people be the one in the class, and the people who need to be there, they take it for, you know, a pastime, a sport, a hobby, you know. And this is like learning how to brush your teeth, how to tie your shoes. That's what this is. And the minute it was made available in the States, from my research, from interviewing people in Miami, because they got this story about how most people were non-practitioners that they knew. And around the time like Bruce Lee started teaching in the States was around the time other people like Ron Van Cleef and Professor Grandmaster Ronald Duncan, ninjutsu. Around that same time period is when these people started emerging as teachers. And before that, a lot of people didn't have it. And I think that goes into what I see the Duke of Tears talk about. Chief Rod, Grand Sheikh Tariq Bey, and many other Moors talk about how our people here in the States, so-called African American, we were at war with each other. And after a while, war gets to be taxing. You get tired, you want to break. And the only way as an elder person you're going to get a break is you got to stop. You can't teach the youth, but they're going to drag you right into it. Because they are our protection and whatnot, but, you know, if they want that rest, because the youth from around 8 to the 20s, 30s, once we find out, it's going to be, can't nobody tell us not to do this. See, our problem is misinformation. The prisoner of war camps, they didn't tell us right. They told us the slave narrative in reverse. So people thinking we got to go back to Africa, get our people, get with our people. We in the land stolen away from our people, in the land we don't know, that the Albion owned with the Indian, who is not us. The Indian is somebody other than us. It's all a lie. It's all in reverse. And they knew if they told us the truth, they would have to fight on their hand, because the fight had got hot and heavy. And it was very, very, very ugly. That's why you would have people like La Diabla, the she-devil. Because all they would do was, if they're not that low down, well, hell, prisoners of war. They're probably gonna kill him anyway. They had war. That was war is, right? When you escalate to the point of killing, right? Because they say originally we danced. That was our competition. We would dance. So you see, like what you call breakdancing, and a lot of other dance forms. That was it. And I think the one who could last the longest and not fall out, not get tired, that's who will win. But that escalated to try to use my written vocabulary when I'm writing, when I'm speaking. It just ain't happening. That escalated to killing, to bloodshed. And these days, usually that's the determining factor. You know, the bloodshed. Sometimes during the bloodshed, even though a country could be winning the war itself, they know. See, most of the leaders who have the power, whether it's dictatorship or whatever, who have the power to direct a standing military, many of them really are not a part of the corruption that we see in so-called politics. Therefore, they're more like Sun Tzu, the art of war. They know that you need a standing military, but you shouldn't be using it as a means of gain, land grab, control. You shouldn't be using it like that. That's abuse. And it overtaxes even you and your people, your country. It depletes you of almost everything. So many times, the concessions will be made to the cabal. And most of us young, when we start to study this and look at, we call them sellouts, and Uncle Tom, and yeah, that's a puppet. But a lot of time, man, they just trying not to go to a full-scale war, because that's really not our nature. It's not our invention. Those from amongst us did it, but as a collective, no. That's the black priesthood. That's the vampires, the cannibals, and all that. That's melanated, if you want to call it, right, amongst us, who are now with those selected and chosen albions and whatnot that are in that dark priesthood. But that's not us. And many of us you can find in Masonic orders, Shriner with all that type of stuff, and positions of authority. And we really are trying to do our best to do the right thing, but it's a lot of give and take to even get into that position in the first place. It's a lot of give and take. Many of us won't give what they're asking for. That's why we don't get it. So that largely explains why. And as a matter of fact, my father, I was just ragging on him just about 4 or 5 posts in a row about how he's sitting here training. I'm in this city where he trained all these people. And he went abroad too. He went to the military training. He go to Broward, he go out of the country training. He never trained me. But he always let me know I went to the service. I went to the army. He'll say, I went to the army. I was stationed in Germany. Now, that's another problem with the MOORS or the autochthons or the sovereigns. They have that can't beat them, join them attitude. That's why, like Asif pointed out in his recent publication, I haven't shared that yet. He says that kids over there screaming. I can't hardly children screaming. I can't hardly myself think. A lot of us are part of these entities, but we are not with the dark side of it. It's just a job. It's just this. It's just because they do have a lot of light mixed in with the dark. So we going to get the light, and a lot of times we're not even selected to be that agent that does those that will do those key things that are definitely works of black magic, dark arts. Many of us are not that. You know, but me personally, knowing that the brain, the head is why I didn't go, because I'm no. And then I know, coming out of the Nation of Islam, man, they don't let us, even most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, don't even carry so much as a penknife. And my father really pushed that on us. In his house, you know, MGTFOI, man, they searching that house, man, on the regular. They sweeping the house on the regular. Can't have no AK laying around. That's why I stayed in the streets. AR-15, HK, SK, all this kind of stuff that I end up with in my possession. I had to go outdoors to get that. And I had to turn it in to somebody, even if it was mine. I had to give it to somebody. Then go in the house. I might go in with a firearm that I gotta go in the shower with. I gotta go to defecate with it. Everywhere in the house I go, and when I leave the house, I gotta take it and try to find a good hiding spot. Right? And found out don't do that. When Daddy showed me don't even do that. Don't even hide, because he'll find it. So I had to hit the streets, post up around certain individuals. I could go further than what I went, but I wanted to get by the crib. Because I say I am a generational warrior, protector, defender, quote unquote. And if y'all, my own parents, not even my grands and great, my mama and my daddy would have me sign up and hop in a plane or some big old naval vessel and go anywhere they tell me to do anything, you got me. But you know what? They'll lock me up for defending my child, my brother, my cousin, my neighbor, my classmate, maybe a co-worker or something like that. They'll lock me up forever. And use terms like, we had a partner named Jason on the 5th floor when they had Corey Smith Bubba on the 5th floor, John Doe. And Jason had a case where he was visiting someone. He doesn't know a lot of the people who live there, but he's visiting someone he knows. And a guy that lives there tried him on some gunplay. Jason had a weapons license, possession, to hold and whatever. And he prevailed in the firefight. And the witnesses saw it. The witnesses don't even know Jason, they know him, they know the dude. And the court called it overkill, gave Jason a gang of time. I hope he gave it back. Gave him a gang of time. It broke our heart up there, man. We was up there hearing that, man, just everybody just looking down, shaking our head, because we all facing them same magi. And these the same people. They boss at the Pentagon. Uncle Sam wants you. I don't know how to see that poster no more. He had a big old top hat and a long petticoat, long coat, right, with a little split in it. Red, white, blue trousers, and some type of tie on or something like that, right? Little beard, right? It's Uncle Sam wants you. He used to have a poster, a whole lot of posters, Uncle Sam. The white, old, skinny white man. He looked kind of like Abraham Lincoln. That's the military recruitment. And you got guys, wheelchairs, partial brain gone, no arm and all kind of stuff going on, no leg, right? And that's if they survive. Some of them messed up here. They might be fully functional physically, but up here. And that's physical too. The brain is you can actually see the brain. You crack that skull, you can see it. You can see the brain. That's also physical. That's how it happened. It was a physical event. And it messed up. I mean, if it was like firepower. But sometimes they will go like this because of the mental process. But that's still brain. That's still physical. Right? The mental process is short-circuited because of what they witnessed. They traumatized. Post-traumatic stress syndrome. We call it shell shock. Right? And I say, heck no. And they used to then give them GI bills and stuff like that. They used to how to give them nothing. You see them a lot of times panhandling, begging. Our fine country to find our finest. And they didn't give a damn about them. Going Truman and what that Johnson on back. Probably Ford, Nixon, probably even Carter. Carter might be the one to start. I gotta look it. I'm gonna look it up. See when the GI Bill started. So and that would nurture my deep. See, my dislike for the authority didn't come from watching the Black Panthers as a child and listen to the nation talking to. I interacted with these type of people, and I saw how they work with me and people around me. You know, gave them a chance to be different from whatever they saw on TV, on the movies or something. And you be a man. You be yourself. You be a good person. Because you had a lot of people on the force that they were damn good. We used to love to see their face. Oh, that's officer. Oh, that sheriff said it. Yeah. You had some of them that tell you when they get in your face, just don't let me see it. Which means they ain't finna jump out the car and chase you off of 5 blocks and get high speed chase. But if they see something, they will address that issue. And it will be you against them. Because they plan on going home tonight just like you do. Well, you know better. And you know what I'm here to do. You see the car, you see the uniform. Have some respect for yourself and for me and other people around you. You know, so the more we stuck to that got us through even when they put us in jump out, sting, and all that. And I'm gonna wind it down into saying they own this social media. And it ain't so much about me talking about no crime and stuff. If I'm a glorified and influence somebody to do it. Fill their jails up and their private prison up. It's more so me talking about people like Master Fard Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, his son, Warathuddin Muhammad. We just not too long ago buried Minister Rasul Muhammad. That's another one of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad's son. Elijah Poole Bey. Elijah Robert Poole Bey, son. We just buried him, Rasul. He used to be the 7th regional minister where Brother Patrick got down. Student Minister Brother Patrick. ICN. That was Rasul, Mother Tanetta's son. He had that. That's like Florida and Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. That's the 7th region, I believe, Nation of Islam, I believe. Under Minister Louis Farrakhan guy. Mons Marion. So talking about stuff like that, the mother will, which the believers believe, those who say they know that the messenger is on the mother will. You know, talking about stuff like that, talking about another L. I still touched on that. How Charlie Kirk is just yet one more distraction from the Epstein list in the case that they're not going to prosecute because they might as well just give up and tell them, well, lock me up then. Because I'm one of the pedophiles and pedovores and vampires, adrenochrome and cannibals and da-da-da-da. Judge Leslie B. Rothenberg ain't happy. She want to walk around here, you know, like she the best thing since sliced bread and not face them child. Whoever, I'm just pulling somebody out my head. You know, Judge David H. Young, you know, probably drink adrenochrome, eat what they call it? A child, a newborn child, an infant. That's what pedovore and pedophile is all about. You talk about infants, 1-year-old. You know, when you talk about pedovore, it's really infants. Pedovore is the one that eats it, like carnivore, herbivore. You got pedovore. I learned that from the first person I heard use that term was Asiatic Duke of Tears. I never saw it in writing anyway. That shows you how much they are involved in that newspaper. Don't spare nothing. Leave no stone unturned. But the word pedovore hardly ever, and adrenochrome, you don't hardly see that nowhere in the paper. So this Charlie Kirk thing, I think that's his name. Some people don't even think he's a real human being. They say, man, he came out of nowhere. Yeah, because the media is out of control. You got people like Jaguar Wright, CC, the bodyguard, ex-bodyguard of Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, who's very much tied to that case too. That's what they told, I started saying Claudia, what's her name? Ventura, Cassie. Don't say shit during these proceedings that ain't got to do with this charge right here. We talking about Puffy putting a smack down on you and a couple other things. Probably human trafficking, forcing you to prostitute, whatever. That's it. Why? Because they know she knows. And a lot of other witnesses that might be called to the stand have seen online, they going off online. Online, they can't control it. They might try to flag and troll and all that, but it ain't enough. If they really serious about being on stand online, that's why I cut out a lot of stuff, cussing and all kind of stuff. Because I'm serious about this stuff staying up there for good enough of time for people to study it, record it, write it down, whatever, to go in different directions and do the work. Those ones who will do the work. Truly, the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. So this is just me signing back on, let you know it's Viernes. It's about a Domingo, Viernes. I might get a chance to do Viernes Jiu-Jitsu, right? Today. Might get a chance to die for a worthy cause. Right? So I'm gonna wrap this up. I touched on a few things. I wasn't really itching to do this, but I really thought what made, because I was passing by Hadley Park, Manor Park, these two names, old names. Manor Park is reserved for Hadley, here on like 50th to like almost 46, about 46 to 50th Street, 12th Ave to about 15th Ave, 14th Ave. That's Hadley Park. Some people call it Manor Park. The older guy call it Manor Park, and then Gibson parties call that Manor Park too. Cary Picnic Center and something else they designated a section over there, right? I haven't been inside there for a minute. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I said I wanted another location. I don't like to use the same location, but a lot of times I do me. This is one of those days I had to clean up the car. Spraying all type of spraying for bed bugs and roaches and fleas and ticks, because you know I picked me up old white bitch going down Hollywood over there, Pembroke, 441. Used to be white bitches out there selling that motherfucking ass. Right, I still be riding. There be nothing but ghosts out there. I be talking to the ghosts. Ain't nobody out there now. 441, Pembroke, Hollywood used to be all up and down. Used to be more hotels up in there too. Right about 441, you bitches out there, a lot of white bitches, a lot of snow out there. Hollywood blondes, down. I be riding, talking to the ghosts now. You gotta go somewhere. Go to the strip club, Vixen, something like that. You'll see something. But it's less and less white. See the real white girl, if you know, you know. Hispanic, black, the real ones who have been in America for quite some time, since they came over, right? In the English-speaking United States of America. Cracker, bitch. As a pimp, if you could have got you one, gray girl, get you one. They just don't know. They don't know. They be thinking about this and that. They just don't know. And if you ain't a pimp, you'll probably never know. If you ain't a male, you definitely probably never know. But a pimp, nigga pimp, if he care to tell you, he'll lace you up. A lot of them won't. They'll spit some ism, they'll talk some shit, they'll let you know they got some white bitches, but they won't put you up in the game. And ain't nobody paying me. So I ain't even finna go there and start breaking it down. What makes a white piece of flesh so valuable? White cargo, this part of the game, because they came largely from the Eastern Hemisphere as white cargo, Slavic, right? Total subjugation. Now that was one chapter. But now we find ourselves more subjugated than ever in human history that we know of. Right? I look tough of hands. I start prep. You know, mirror, get myself. I need some bitches, man. I get myself together, man. I look a mess out there. Look at the glass. Look at the glass. I need some bitches, man. I'm telling you. Shit. God damn, I need to get the pimping, man. I just, it don't do good just to be a, you gotta, the verb, man. You gotta be pimping. You gotta be pimping on some. Well, I need some white flesh. I'm telling you, I need some white flesh. Whoa! About 3 of them. Well, I really show you. It's gonna take about 40 black bitches to do it. I can do it 3 white bitches. 3 good white bitches. I want 1 from Kentucky, 2 from Tennessee, 5 from Carolina, and we just beginning to see. What Pimpin' Ike Brown to do with this game we call PIM. I ain't lying, man. I ain't lying. If I'm lying, I'm flying, man. I'm serious, man. I got game for days. I might change this shit to an afro or some finger wave. I ain't my plan, man. I need some bitches, man. I'm for real, man. I'm serious, man. I'm finna sign off, man. And go and do what I gotta do. Might run across me a bitch, man. You know what I'm talking about, man? My white tee ain't even white no more, man. I'm talking about I'm doing real bad, man. I'm poleless, doleless, holeless, and I ain't poleless. I'm more pole. Less hole, less dough. And robbing, stealing, and killing, that's a no-no. I'm finna sign off, man.